Crom, I never prayed to you before, but grant me this wish of revenge. If not, then the hell with you. What's going on, guys? Welcome to Think About It Reviews. And finally, I wanted to remember some of the stuff I saw when I was a kid. And by request by Dino Rocker 86, I have to say, we've been discussing this, and I told him, you know what? I remember watching this when I was a kid, but I remember little bits and pieces, and I think I saw the sequel more than I saw the first film, because this film came out in 1986. He said, bro, you gotta watch it. I was like, you know what? I have to. I have to watch. There's no excuse. It's on Netflix. I've been saying I was going to watch this Arnie movie, and I'm a big fan of Arnold Schwarzenegger back in the day. So this review is about, if you haven't seen the thumbnail, Conan the Barbarian, the 1982 flick. And boy, did I have a lot of fun with this. I mean, I remember some aspects of the film, but it's like watching it for the first time. Now, this is directed by John Milius. It is starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, James Earl Jones, who I gotta say really does do a pretty good job in this film. He definitely plays this spoiler review. So if you haven't seen the film, you should check it out on Netflix. I don't know how long it's gonna be there for, but yeah, James Earl Jones is like this snake king, and he killed Conan's parent. It's basically a revenge flick. It's Conan going after. Well, at first he's not even going after James Earl Jones's character. He's just first he's a slave, and then he's a robber, and then he's gets assigned to go steal away a daughter for a king, and he'll get paid with many jewels and stuff. But he doesn't really go after James Earl Jones, whose name is Doom. He doesn't seek revenge, but he still remembers that time, and then after he finds out it really is Doom, then he kind of starts wanting revenge. We have Valahira Sandai Bergman, and there's so many actors. A lot of them I don't really remember. I don't remember seeing them in anything else, but I do like his friend that's in this film. I can't really think of the name. His robber kind of friend, and then you have also the Wizard. I thought the Wizard was hilarious. The Wizard is played by Mako, and the Wizard was awesome. I mean, when he came in here, he was definitely the comic relief, and I just loved everything the Wizard did. At one point, at the end of this film, he helps fight with Conan and his buddy, who's like an archer, and the other thief. And it's just so hysterical and just awesome. Love it. So yeah, this film, of course, it's a little bit outdated. I mean, some of the animatronics, some of the effects doesn't really kind of work. You could tell, okay, a lot of time has passed. But you know what? It still works in a sense of it feels real. It feels like you're immersed in this world. It feels like you're in Conan's world. And I don't necessarily like a lot of this type of film with the fantasy and everything like that. But I really like this film. It's very adventurous. It's a revenge flick. I really like Arnold in there. But boy, does he do his... I mean, he does this a ton in this film. You could see how much he progressed from Conan to present. Even though present, he's not as good right now because he was away from the game. But boy, does he just do a lot of that in this film. And there's hardly any dialogue really in this film. There's dialogue there, and there's a lot of narration, but they don't really throw you with dialogue. And that's actually pretty good for the film because you understand it. I understand everything that was going on, and they didn't need to tell me. And a lot of films nowadays, they rely on dialogue. So it's good to take a step back and watch a film like this and say, you know what, they don't have to rely so much on dialogue. They're just showing me, and they're showing me what this character is going through, and a lot of these characters are going through. I get it. I understand it. I understand with their eyes. I understand with their body language, what's going on here. So that I really appreciated that. And you know what? They said that Arnold didn't get a lot of lines, and you could just tell right off the bat, Arnold does have that charisma. He exudes charisma. I don't know if that's a word, but I'm going to use it. He really does bring out something in this film. I mean, even when he said his lines, I thought they were great. I thought, hey, he's doing a good job for being like his first couple of movies. Oh, sorry about that. Got the phone going. But I thought I thought it was definitely a great showing from Arnold and a lot of the other cast. I mean, the acting here wasn't too bad. I really liked Doom. I really liked James Earl Jones. I really liked how he just looked menacing. He flowed menacing. When I say flowed, like it seems like he was flowing through the freaking stage, like wherever he had to walk. He really did feel like a villain. The only negativity I have about that is that he didn't really go in this as a villain. Like, he didn't battle with Conan, which I don't expect him to, but he turns into the snake, which was actually pretty cool. I mean, you could tell the effect is a little outdated, but I really did like that aspect to it. The one snake that was an animatronic, the huge snake, when Conan and his thief friend and pretty much his girlfriend go and try to steal from Doom's like castle this jewel, the big animatronic snake that you see, like, it's cool looking. I would love to. Actually, I've seen one of those, like, kind of like in Santa Barbara when I was going around there. Yeah, some dude had like an animatronic when I was working in his mansion. So, but like, it's really cool. But boy, did that editing and the effect did not pay off in that particular scene. It really did feel like, oh man, this is so. Yeah, you could totally tell that's a fake one. Some of the editing was a little sketchy as well. One character, like, sometimes you had to kind of really just adjust, like, okay, wait a minute, what's going on with this scene? But then you kind of get it. But the cuts were a little bit choppy and a little bit messy. But overall, I love the music. I thought the score was great. I mean, I haven't felt this adventurous since the Lord of the Rings score. So I thought Conan's score was really great. I really liked just that. The atmosphere it gave, the barbaric, the manly adventureness that you get from that score. I really thought the score was really great. Boy, does Arnold bang a lot of chicks in here. He bangs a witch at one point, which was kind of funny. Like, she turns into this. For some reason, I was just thinking Marlon Wayans' movie, drinking apple juice in South Central or something like that, where Marlon Wayans is banging this chick in a like in his mailbox car, or what? Not mailbox car. He's a mailman, so he's banging her in his car, and she turns into like a demon. That scene reminded me of this scene in Conan when Arnold's banging this chick and she turns into a witch. But I really did like some of the lines in here as well, especially with this one friend when he first meets him. He's like, "Oh, give me food, please. If I'm going to be the wolves' dinner or lunch." Or what if I'm going to be the wolves' food? At least don't let me die with the empty stomach. I really liked that. I thought that was great. Some of the lines were actually really great. Like the Crom line. And then there was one particular scene too where the special effects or the effects didn't really work. And also that was when after Arnold gets crucified, excuse me, the wizard basically helps him like to heal his wounds and stuff, but how I took it, like a bunch of the angel of death pretty much are trying to take his body, take his soul, but of course his girlfriend and his friend won't allow that. I thought that whole particular scene was a little bit. It wasn't that. It was definitely not that effective. It was outdated, but like I said, it's in 1982. So, and also there was one particular scene where his mom gets her head beheaded, and Doom is like far back. I mean, I know that sword is long, but there's no way that sword is reaching that woman at all. So that was a little strange. And then there was one particular scene where Arnold is holding flowers, and at first it's kind of like pink, but then like you cut to the next scene and it's white. So come on, prop master, come on. Overall, though, I've had a lot of fun with this film. It's a 2-hour film, so it was a little bit long, but I really did feel like I was watching this for the first time, and I really dug what they did with this film back in 1982. It makes me want to watch the sequel, which I will rewatch it. I remember seeing some parts, but I'll go back and watch that sequel. But Conan the Barbarian, I can see why a lot of people love this. I see why it's a cult following. You know what? It makes me a fan as well. I want to see Arnold reprise this role as the king, because at the end of this film they say he's a king, and that's another story for later. I want to see him as a king. I think he will be perfect as an old king now that he's old. That's pretty much the roles he has to be in. So I could see him passing the torch to somebody, maybe The Rock. I seen The Rock in Hercules. The film was okay. It definitely wasn't what I expected, but boy, The Rock is like huge, and Arnold was huge back in the day. So I mean, why not, right? Anyway, so that's my review on Conan the Barbarian. I hope you enjoyed it. I do highly recommend you check this out on Netflix. I think if you haven't seen it before, it's definitely one of Arnie's classic films, and I can see why. He does a pretty good job. Don't expect him to do a lot of dialogue, and don't expect a lot of dialogue. This is a film where you have to sit and you just have to really appreciate that they're trying to tell a story without using words. They're trying to use a lot of trying to set up a lot of stuff with just either the look, the body language, the setting, the editing, this and that. So good stuff. And the score, of course. The score really brings out the film a little bit more as well. So, like I always say, guys, grab a seat, grab a tick. Make sure you got some good popcorn to eat. I'll see you at the cinema. Be sure to subscribe, like, and comment in the video if you love. Well, I love to hear you guys' thoughts on this film. So, thank you. I'm Daddy Man, your dad's son. I'm out.